A few weeks ago, I went to a conference at the YouTube headquarters where I got to meet lots of people thinking passionately about how to make education work online. Lots! So, here's what I've learned about the 3 fundamentals of a new education. Hi, my name is Emily, and this is Blink Pop Shift. First, let's talk separation of subject matter. When I was in school, I learned math with a shrug. It was simple, clear, just a set of operations that you can perform on numbers. But I never understood the profoundness of the invention of a point, or a line, or Pythagorean theorem until Weihart told me a story behind the numbers. She taught me not calculation, but concept, and why geometry is so mind-bogglingly cool. And she taught me all of that using art and English, history, mathematics, and video. Division of subject matter might seem like a minor point in the vast field of things to argue about when it comes to education, but this matters. It matters how we think about education because, much like it has been argued in art, the medium is part of the message. How we teach begets what we can learn. If we put into education that knowledge is compartmentalized subject matters and that the ultimate goal is perfect scores on tests, that's exactly what we get out of the system. But this isn't the only thinking that supports moving away from test-centered education. We also need to teach ourselves how to make mistakes. Making mistakes is hard. No one wants to be wrong when Derek from Veritasium points a camera at them asking them to explain the seasons, or bullet block experiment, or conductivity. But mistakes, and especially mistakes made in the public eye, are becoming an integral part of our new networked society and the education revolution that goes along with it. Mistakes are valuable. We need them to invent new things, or to stumble on great ideas, or just to learn. Being wrong, or negative data as the scientists like to call it, leads us towards new ideas. So how can education, especially online education, train us to get better at making mistakes? Well, studies linked below have shown that people, when told their achievements are down to their smarts, assume that when later they fail at something, they're just not smart enough. It makes them not want to make mistakes. But people told their successes were down to hard work were much more willing to make mistakes, or try different solutions, or play with problems until they could figure it out. So out with smart and in with hardworking, but does the effect end there? Do grades and test scores, for example, encourage a culture of endemic mistake shaming? Much like our sex positive movement has normalized to talk about sex and our bodies, we need a mistake positive movement. Take Khan Academy. I am currently doing the complete math review on Khan Academy because it's fun. When I mess up a problem, the software doesn't whip out a red pen and give me an F and then make me take the paper home to my mother and have her sign it so I can be sufficiently shamed. It just tells me the answer was wrong and has me keep practicing, and normalizes mistakes in a way that grades just never have. And we're not just talking about students. Mistake shame also leads to things like positive publication bias, a term I learned from Ben Goldacre's TED Talk on the harmful tendency of science journals to only publish papers with positive results, thus limiting the data set available. We need to get comfortable asking dumb questions, making mistakes, and being wrong often and publicly. Making them a normal, accepted, and even exciting part of discovery, invention, and education. Because thinking in public is not just for intellectuals. But we are certainly in the process of losing more privacy. Hi, NSA! Our ultra-public lives aren't all bad. There are lots of advantages to writing and thinking in public. Lots! The power of crowds and the public goes far beyond the ability to guess how many jelly beans are in a jar or even discover new protein folds. They can also drive us to better learning. Lots! In his book Smarter Than You Think, Clive Thompson shared a story about a teacher who switched from having her students write papers to writing public Wikipedia articles. The simple switch had surprising results. The students went from turning in poorly cited, underwritten papers only the teacher would ever read, to writing well-thought-out entries with meticulous citation for a public audience. That audience effect, even with a very small audience, means that we work harder and produce better work because we know people are watching, like right now. And that audience has all of us thinking and writing more. Before the internet, Thompson wrote, very few people wrote for pleasure or intellectual satisfaction after graduating from high school or college. But now we write blog posts and YouTube videos and tweets and comments every second of the day. Lots! If there's some kind of 10,000 hours for an entire culture thinking and writing in public, I think we're getting pretty close. But what do you think? Can we create an education system that turns out curious people out to solve problems and willing to work for it? And what can you contribute to normalizing mistakes? Do a bit of public thinking for yourself, leave a comment below, and as always, thank you for watching and get curious.
Is the show really over?
Mistake shame leads to things like positive publication bias, a term I learned from Ben Goldacre's TED Talk on the harmful tendency of science journals to only publish papers with positive results. Mistake shame also leads to things like positive publication bias, a term I learned from Ben Goldacre's TED Talk on the harmful tendency of science journals to only publish papers with positive results. Publish papers with positive results. Publish papers with positive results.